I've been marketing the luxury vendor experience weekend for almost a month, March 27th through the 29th in Minneapolis. It is going to be at a private Airbnb and it has 6 seats. One of those includes myself. It's a fully immersive 2-night experience for women vendors, and they are ready to do the real work of building a sustainable business. And I have to be straight with you. No one has signed up yet. So the overnight retreat, the Airbnb experience is not happening this weekend. I'm not going to rent that space without the right people in place. And I didn't say that to make you guys feel sorry for me, or I didn't say all of that for urgency. That is just the reality. So that wouldn't be fair to anyone, including myself. But I need you to understand something before you keep watching. That's not a failure, that's information. And what I do with it is what matters. The truth is, my message hasn't gotten in front of enough people yet. That's the honest answer. And when you're talking about something that most of the world isn't talking about yet, vendor equity, financial freedom for women in the food and craft business space, the fight for fair cottage food laws across this country, you have to expect that it takes time to find its audience. And it's not a trending topic. It's not something people are debating about on the morning shows. But it is one of the most real, most urgent conversations happening in kitchens and market stalls and church parking lots all over America. And most of the women living it every single day don't even have language for what they're experiencing yet. That's changing. Over the last few weeks, I've watched the conversation start to open up. People are engaging. They're asking questions they haven't asked before. They're saying, wait, I didn't know I was allowed to think of this as a real business. That momentum is real. It just needs more people, more visibility, and more support behind it. So some people might say, you can make an LLC in Minnesota, but how many people know that? That's exactly what this video is about. So I want to describe this retreat clearly because I want the right people and the right sponsors to understand what they'd be stepping into. This isn't a conference. It's not a networking event with a name tag and a buffet line. It's 6 women in a private space for 2 full nights, Friday night through Sunday morning. We're cooking together, workshopping together, going deep on pricing and business structure, and the stories we tell ourselves that keep us undercharging and overworking. Check out at Sunday at noon. So you wake up Sunday morning still in that space, still in that community, still in that energy before you go back to real life. That's intentional. That's the experience. We have 2 collaborators who will be part of the experience when it happens. One is a woman who makes handcrafted lemonades. They're urban infused, hibiscus, things like that, that you haven't really tasted before, probably. She's not there to pour drinks. She's a vendor. She's built something. She'll be part of the conversation. And she might still just whip something up and pour some drinks. Who knows? I'll be dropping her a link in the description so you can get to know her and her business. The other collaborator is Hugh's Music, a young artist who's gifted with a paintbrush, and she's very gifted in music. She's a very talented singer, instrumentalist, and songwriter. She's going to bless the space with her talent, and I'll be leaving a link to her YouTube channel in the description so you can experience her work before the weekend. This retreat is small by design because that's where the real transformation happens. And it's worth waiting until the right women are in the room. So, I want to mention two things clearly because they're related, but they're not the same. The first is my book, The Home Cook Revolution. Inside that book, there's a workbook built directly into it. Assessments, prompts, practical tools you can write in and return to. That workbook is for every vendor across this country who picks up the book and needs something to work through, not just read. The pre order link is in the description. The second is the retreat workbook, and that's a separate thing entirely. When the retreat happens, every woman in that room will leave with a workbook built specifically around what we covered together that weekend. That's not my book. That's an experience tool. Two different things, both designed to help you move. Now, here's what I want you to know about this weekend because I'm not going home and going quiet. I'm still showing up and I'm inviting you to show up with me. It's nothing formal, just real talk with whoever wants to be in the room. We'll get back to the video in a minute, but first I wanted just to let you know about um, where we're going to be meeting this weekend. It's going to be at a local library in the Twin Cities area. I'm not going to say where exactly until people sign up. You scan the QR code, then you can sign up on that page. I'll get the information and then I will send you an email giving you the location information. I just want to know who's going to be there. I want to make sure that this group is just all women, and yeah, I want this to be a safe place to be, and that's about it. So if you're planning on showing up, scan the QR code, and I'll see you over the weekend. There's multiple choices. Thank you. When the retreat happens, every woman in that room will leave with a workbook built specifically around what we covered together that weekend. That's not my book. That's an experience tool. Two different things, both designed to help you move. Get moving. Now, here's what I want you to know about this weekend because I'm not going home and going quiet. I'm still showing up and I'm inviting you to show up with me. On Friday, I'll be available during the day. I'm planning to be at the Brooklyn Park Library in Brooklyn Park up until 4 p.m. for conversation and possible light refreshments. I'm not sure exactly what they'll allow. It's nothing formal, just real talk with whoever wants to be in the room. On Saturday, I'm planning to show up at the library again in Brooklyn Park. If you guys have any other ideas of where we could meet to have these conversations and to show up for each other, just let me know where a small group of women could gather for a real conversation. Drop it in the comments or send me a message. And on Sunday, I'll be available after 12 p.m. for another gathering. Now, let me be clear, this is not the retreat experience. The retreat is an immersive overnight with workshops, soul food, collaborators, and deep work over 2 full nights. That's something different and something worth waiting for. But these meetups, this weekend, those are where we start the conversation. We continue the conversation. I've already started it. So we continue the conversation. They're where the community begins to find itself. And they're open to vendors, to people who are curious, and to sponsors who want to meet the people in this movement, the people this movement is actually for. I want to speak now directly to the brands and organizations watching this. Here's a truth most people don't say out loud. Women who vend for a living at this stage of the movement, they don't always have the financial margin to invest in themselves the way they deserve to. Not yet. That's not a personal failing. That's the direct result of a system that hasn't caught up to what they're building. They're talented. They're working. They're showing up at every market, every weekend. And they're doing it without the infrastructure, the legal protection, or the community investment that other entrepreneurs take for granted. That's what needs to change. And that's why sponsorship of this retreat and this movement matters right now. We're in Women's History Month. This is March. This is the moment. And I'm not looking for a logo on a flyer. I'm looking for brands and organizations that want to genuinely connect to a real conversation about equity and financial freedom for women who are building businesses from scratch. So there are two sponsorship tiers: full sponsor and legacy sponsor. Legacy means your name is woven into this weekend, into this book, and into the platform I'm continuing to build around vendor equity across this country. This is not a one time transaction, it's a seat at the table of something that is growing and that people are starting to pay attention to. And I want to personally invite sponsors to come to these community meetups this weekend. Come meet us, sit in the room, hear the conversation firsthand. That's the best way to understand what this movement is and why it matters. Not from a deck, but from the women themselves. If your brand belongs here, reach out. Message me directly. The link is in the description. I'd rather talk to you personally. So the Airbnb retreat isn't happening this Friday, but the movement is. The message is right. The community needs this. And I'm not going anywhere. Bring someone with you. Let's start there. And when the retreat happens, and it will happen, it'll be because the right women found it. The right sponsors made it possible, and the timing finally matched the need. So if any part of what I've said today sounds like something you've been waiting to hear, the links are below. The book pre-order, the retreat landing page, the sponsorship page, Hughes Music's YouTube channel, and the lemonade vendor so you can get to know them. Everything is there. Share this with someone who needs it. The woman at the market who packed up early because she didn't make what she needed to. The home cook who's been thinking about going legitimate but doesn't know where to start. Everyone who's ever wondered whether what they're building counts, it counts. And so do they. I'll see you soon.